Hey everybody, welcome. I want to welcome you to my thoughts of the wrestling year in review, pro wrestling year in review, whether it's WWE or TNA or even Ring of Honor. And I got about 9 minutes here, so I'm going to try to make this quick and short and quick or something like that. But what can we say about wrestling last year in 2010? I mean. Talk about kind of talk about a year, huh? I mean, let's take a look at something like with WWE. I mean, we start off the year, of course, like we're doing this year with the Royal Rumble. And who ends up winning the Royal Rumble? None other than Edge. Edge makes his return, wins the Rumble, but does not win the WWE title. And then you take what could be a great babyface run, or as we like to call it, the Stone Cold run for Edge on SmackDown, and then you turn him heel all because he's been drafted to Raw. And then what happens? Near the end of the year, you send him back to SmackDown. When he goes babyface again, or Stone Cold face as we call it. I mean, what sense does that make to me? What sense does that make? Huh? I mean, what a year it has to be for Adam Copeland, Edge. I mean, just think about what's going through his mind. He's thinking to himself, okay, I was a babyface when I came back at the Rumble. Now I'm a bad guy. Now I'm a bad guy again on Raw. But now I'm going back to SmackDown, and I'm going to be a babyface again. What the hell? What's going on? That's got to be his thought process. Like, what the hell is going on with WWE? When are they going to make up their minds? That's the one thing that would go through my mind if I was in his place. Like, I'm thinking, okay, you're bringing me back as a babyface. It's cool. Oh, wait a minute. We just had you drafted to this brand. And guess what? And guess what? Now you're going to be a heel or a bad guy in this brand. And you think, okay, I'm cool with that. And then all of a sudden you find out, oh, you're going back to this brand, you're going to be a babyface again. It's like, come on, guys, make up your minds. But, that wasn't the only thing that dominated this, that was newsworthy in WWE this year. The one thing that stuck out this year for WWE was the Nexus storyline. Because honestly, I will give WWE this. I will give them credit. We never saw it coming. They never. I think it was draft night, I believe. I think it was the WWE draft or something. I'm not really sure. I don't think it was draft night. I don't know what it was. It was one of those 3-hour Raws. And all of a sudden, here's all the 7 competitors of NXT Season 1, which also got introduced this year. And all of a sudden, they're attacking John Cena, they're attacking Jerry Lawler, they're attacking Ring, they're just destroying everything in sight. And then we find out that the reason they're here, that they've been brought together, is because they're upset at the fact that they got disrespected. They got treated like a joke on NXT. But again, give WWE credit for doing something we didn't see coming. But you know what we also didn't see coming? Brian Danielson. When we had heard that Brian Danielson had signed with WWE, it was like this was a great dream come true. And then you fire the guy all because he makes a mistake, and then you bring him back at SummerSlam. I don't know. But those are just some of the highlights for me. And also some of the other highlights happened later on in the year. I mean, for example, we had, of course we had the WWE Championship change hands on multiple occasions. We had to go from Sheamus to Cena to Batista, back to Cena, back to Sheamus, to Orton, and now to currently The Miz. And I'll tell you, what a year it has to be for that championship. And then another highlight is the fact that WWE unifies the Women's Championship and the Divas Championship, puts it around the waist of Lay Cool, which obviously from the very beginning, I could never understand this. Why in the world would you take your most legendary championship when it comes to the women and make a joke out of it and put it on two people, and even do the same with its successor? It doesn't make sense. If you're going to do that, why don't you just create a Divas Tag Team titles? Why don't you just do that? That's what I never got this year. But thankfully now we're down to one championship. So one champion. So thank God for that. Not saying they won't go back in that direction, but thank God. Now, you know what else? Besides that, and besides the fact that John Cena was forced into Nexus and then supposedly fired because he didn't do what Wade Barrett wanted him to do, and then got rehired, what else? How about the fact that Awesome Kong's coming to WWE? That's pretty good. But those are just that's a pretty good signing, but those are just some of the things I wanted to say about WWE. As far as TNA goes, I have to say that they've had an unusual year. I mean, Hogan coming in, Bischoff, Flair, Jeff Hardy, Mickie James, Abyss going from babyface to crazed out heel, Jeff Hardy being the new Hollywood Hogan of the NWO inspired Immortals group. I mean, TNA, you know, it's a good promotion, but they really need to get their act together. And then you have Dixie Carter making her return at Thanksgiving after she accidentally signs away her company to Hogan and Bischoff. You have Dixie Carter coming back and saying, "Guess what, Hogan? You got an injunction. Bye-bye." I don't know. You know, hopefully I'm praying and hoping that TNA, you know, gets their act together in 2011 and really starts taking things seriously and, you know, straightens and organizes things out in that company. It's a good company, like I said. I've been watching it a lot recently more. I've been watching it more lately and not recording it, but watching it more, so hopefully they'll get the act together in 2011. And as far as Ring of Honor, the big news for them is the fact that they've signed Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas, which I think is a good acquisition. That'll help them get on the map a little bit. So, but those are just my quick highlights of 2010 and when it comes to wrestling in 2010. Tell me what yours are, and God bless, take care, I'm out.